a special episode devoted to Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland. Many people have seen the movie, others haven't, and many have read the books.
Yes.
These are
Why do you guys have better books?
no, bigger isn't necessarily better.
But there's something magic in your book.
Yes.
Because mine holds the
The
key
key.
to Wonderland, and that's what this episode is all about. It's learning about Alice in Wonderland and its many incarnations. So to start it off, Alice in Wonderland, Siobhan, what can you tell us about it?
Alice in Wonderland is written by Lewis Carroll. Yes.
In 1865.
Yes,
There.
1865. It's actually two books. The Adventures of Alice
In Wonderland.
and Alice Through the Looking Glass.
It started out as
Through
a
the Looking
story
Glass.
which the kids were asking him to tell them, and he came up with a story,
Yeah.
wrote it down. Kids liked it, got it published, and it steamrolled from there into something much bigger. And in the many years that have passed, there have been actually over 15 different film adaptations.
15?
There have been a number of musical adaptations. Yes, there have.
Adaptation. Oh.
An adult adaptation.
And it's
Yes,
been
in the
adapted
70s.
into a game in the 90s.
So everything from video games to comic books to even musicians
and
have been inspired.
references.
And that's what this
Yes,
episode will
musician.
discuss. Starting with visual or movie adaptations. Many of us would easily remember the animated film, which was done by.
Disney
Disney.
in 1951.
Yes.
So anyone has stories to share about that incarnation?
It was very disturbing for children.
Really?
I mean,
Why do you
well,
say
very
that?
psychedelic, and the images were
Yes.
very, very.
Psychedelic before psychedelic was.
I know, isn't it?
A buzzword.
It's. But as a kid, you just enjoy the imagery. And it's fun, and the strange animals, and that weird thing with the brush that was sweeping up their footprints. But then later on, as you get older and you watch it again, you're like, what the heck?
And Alice is like a prim and proper brat.
Yes.
One thing
It's a
I
really
like.
small feat.
One thing I liked about the animated film was that it gave you an idea of how the songs were supposed to sound.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you're reading the story, you see the lyrics.
Not
Yes.
But-
really.
Well, I liked the fact that
It
I
had
could
songs,
hear.
but it didn't quite have the songs in the book. I mean, they didn't sing like the Walrus and the Carpenter.
Compared
I
to-
love that point.
Was
Yeah.
there an incarnation that actually had the songs much more interestingly done?
We'd have to fast forward like way later, I think. So, and if we want to get to that, I guess a good example of the songs being captured will be the Hallmark version that was done a few years back, where
How many
no, because it was
TV movie.
I think they at the most they cut it into two parts, but they captured a lot of the songs that weren't captured in other
This
incarnations.
is the one with the Whoopi Goldberg cat.
Yeah, she was the Cheshire Cat, and they even had the Lobster Quadrille, and
The
they
Carpenter
had,
song.
yeah, and they had Carpenter song.
Wait. I'm sorry.
Wrong Carpenter. And they even had the driest speech of the Dormouse to help them all dry. All the things. So the Hallmark version was very, very faithful to the book, and it tried to capture a lot of the moments in the book, and that's what I really liked about it. Plus, pronouncing croquet as croquet.
Crookie.
Yes.
Who was the queen in that one? Miranda?
Yeah, that was the Miranda Richmond. Yes, yes.
The lovely, the brow, very thin, playing card eyebrows.
Yeah, they really, really played up playing cards, so to speak, and they really followed that motif, and it went fairly well. And the Alice there was a surprisingly good child actress. So beyond that, from a cable network perspective, a more recent update came out just before the Disney 3D extravaganza, which is done by the Sci-Fi Channel, and it's still pronounced Sci-Fi, even though it looks like Sci-Fi.
Sifi.
And that was they were trying to go for a weird modern feel to the Alice.
Reimagination.
It was falling into that category. The same people who did Tin Man, which is a reimagination of the Wizard of Oz.
Which I like.
Yeah, and that was really good. This one though was
Underwhelming.
This one
yes,
had, this,
that's one of the words I would use.
this one had the weird tattoo, the markings when the light was shown on her. This one was the one with the hatter who looked like.
No wait, that's one there. That was Tin Man, right?
No, they also had an Alice. the searchlight shone on her, and she got marked.
Ah, that one. Okay. Sorry.
And-
Yes.
Yeah, and they had the floating palace thing, the square, like yeah,
It
it's very weird.
The flamingos were like speeder bikes, and I just didn't get that. But it was an interesting attempt and quite memorable, and it came out just before Alice. Even though it had been in production years before the Disney movie, so
And I think this was the incarnation that gave the Alice romantically connected to the Hatter angle much more merit. Because in this one, there was a little bit of romance going on between the two and the characters.
a little bit. Yeah, a little bit by TV standards. So beyond that, what else do we have?
Well, the 70s.
Going back,
Because you mentioned the word psychedelia, so there was this huge celebration of Alice in Wonderland in the 70s. There's the adult film.
You really
Somebody
wanted
was
to focus
so-
on this.
Well, and then there's
As
sorry,
what's
no,
near and
I have
dear to
something
us.
else.
if I remember, it was not just an adult film; it's an adult musical,
I didn't hear any music.
a pornographic musical.
Anyway,
Wow.
I didn't know about that.
there is. It's
Yeah,
so
I think I'm
strange.
glad
And
I
then-
don't know
And then
about
there's the Jefferson Airplane song "White Rabbit,"
White Rabbit?
where you have the amoeba prince behind her, and she's singing, "One pill makes you larger, one pill makes you small, but the ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all." Call Alice when she was this small. It's a tribute to Alice in Wonderland while she's talking about people on the chessboard. But she's also referring to White Rabbit as a very special type of acid called the White Rabbit, which was supposed to be very potent and give you. I read
You're
this
very,
in
you're
the
very knowledgeable of the
electric
subject.
Kool-Aid acid test.
Well,
and then there's
Electric Kool-Aid.
and then
Ooh.
there's in the 70s the Disney ride also made use of like Tron like you had blackness and everything would be
Sweet, I mean,
the light.
Yeah,
the Captain,
Fluorescent
Captain
light.
EO.
Fluorescent light amidst
Captain
the
EO was
blackness.
3D.
So it was a good time to celebrate the psychedelia of it all. But now obviously we have the 21st century sensibilities.
Well, considering you've mentioned
We have
Jefferson's
sensibilities?
Airplane, I guess it's a good segue to discuss how Alice in Wonderland has also inspired many musicians. One of the few which many tend to overlook is the Beatles.
Yeah.
A lot of people think the Beatles, Alice in Wonderland, when? Until, of course, they consider the fact that there's I Am the Walrus.
Oh yeah.
And they also have Helter Skelter, which, according to some people, the chords are based on the quadrille song, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure about that, but I
Wow,
remember.
you've been
Interesting.
researching it. Yes.
We should look it up then.
Wikipedia time.
There's the more modern bands like Panic at the Disco.
Yes, Panic.
There's what else? Susie and the Banshees actually called their album. The record label is called Wonderland, and their first album was Through the Looking Glass. Lots of musicians have been inspired. Others much more overtly. Others just simply by having the mentions of Alice or the mention of a pill. Some can say Alice in Wonderland paved the way for references to the book to connect to drug use. The very term going through the rabbit hole has become a way to refer to getting high.
You'll be going down the rabbit hole.
Obviously, I don't do drugs, so I wouldn't know.
Seems strange. It's like rabbit holes are, usually go down, right?
Considering rabbit holes, we then can, of course, go into the fact that it has influenced other forms of media. From animated films, we have manga or anime. Studio Ghibli's My Neighbor Totoro has a very Alice in Wonderland feel, for example. You have other mangas that have been inspired by Alice in Wonderland. I forgot the name of some of them. The recent video games as well have shown inspirations from Alice in Wonderland.
Did you get to play American McGee's Alice?
One of my favorite games.
It's very disturbing.
Yeah, it's a very very dark version of Alice. It's really good. Yeah, the one in the asylum.
It's the one where her parents die in the fire, and she wakes up and she's now in an asylum.
Yeah.
And
It's a one person 360-degree RPG, and she wields
A butcher
a
knife,
knife.
a series
a
of
knife.
weapons actually.
A series of weapons.
Well, her
but
default's
initially-
the knife.
Yeah.
Her default is the knife, and it's got blood on
Very
it.
psycho moments.
And her her apron dress had
Blood
like
stain.
blood
already,
stains
yeah.
on it and stuff.
And the Cheshire Cat
Looked like a
emancipated and
yeah, it
sounded
looks
British.
like a
A
badass.
Max cat or
Parang, yeah, it's a
something.
badass puma or something. Or other.
It's
Really,
very,
really.
very
Of
disturbing.
course, for the less
Weird.
dark versions, we also have Kingdom Hearts, which had Alice in Wonderland as one of the stages.
And almost every other Disney movie.
We cannot, of course, overlook the fact that Alice in Wonderland has been instrumentally an influence in movies such as The Matrix.
Pills.
Yeah.
So who would
Blue
what's
pill
his
and the
name
red
be?
pill.
Lawrence Fishburne's character. Which character does he equate
Well,
to?
he does offer the pills, so in some ways he's the caterpillar who has the
Eat this side of the mushroom and that side of the mushroom.
yes, make the
Yeah.
choice if you want to
Bigger,
learn or not.
smaller.
We have, of course, shows like Lost, where there are all these
You had to
Alice
bring up
references.
Lost.
Of course, because it's well written, unlike Heroes.
Well, executed. Good job.
There's also movies that are less noticeable, but actually inspired by Alice in Wonderland. Have you heard of the movie Go?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It's
Most-
that
Santa
movie
Claus.
with
And the cat.
Scott Wolf and
Yeah, we see 3 stories of different characters and
One of
what they
those
go through.
multi-POV type things.
And there's the concept.
cat.
There's the drugs. There's the
and there's a
telepathic
talking cat.
Yeah, they
Well, not
shouting.
really talking cat, but you know.
So yeah, Go has the
Alice.
hints of Alice in it without being too
Oh
overt.
wait, and Jay Moore. You have this wonderful
Moore is-
scene in this the yellow, ano?
It's a Miata.
So Alice in Wonderland has definitely been out there and has influenced so many things.
People take it to mean what they want it to mean.
Well, and I guess it just shows how strong the story is and how it really is something that is common to all of us, or at least most of us. And it's interesting how each generation adapts it for their use and how makes it more interesting.
Yeah, it's all adapted to each of us.
What's in here?
So
The house.
definitely Alice in Wonderland has something that has withstood the test of time, has influenced generations of people, and continues to do so now with the current Tim Burton.
Mm-hmm.
So one can only wonder what's to come next in the years to come. I mean,
Oh, we forgot the Care Bears.
Care Bears.
Care Bears.
Care Bears, Sesame Street. There's so many influences to name in one show.
Wonderland's everywhere.
So I guess to end the show, we might as well just pose the question
We're ending our show.
to the viewers. If you had a chance to use, or if you were to draw Alice in Wonderland as one of the major influences in something you'd work on, what would it be? Would you be writing a novel of your own inspired by it, just like the Looking Glass Wars, which takes a different spin on the Alice in Wonderland storyline? Would you create a video game or a adult,
Entertainment piece.
or are you actually going to create some exhibit inspired by Alice in Wonderland and cakes?
Yes. Oh, Wonderland.
Or maybe I
cakes.
can make a cake out of it.
Well, I'm sure that eating these cakes will make us bigger.
We definitely would love to hear from you, and
I would
till
like smaller.
till the next chance we get to go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Oh, good, damn, good job.
This has been Fandom Live saying.
Bye.
I was about to yell off with her head, but I didn't know whose head to point at.
Mm.
Me.
Please find your muchness. Yes. Be
Oh.
much here.
Okay, bye. Yeah. I'll have to make the book disappear now.